Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to Sounds Like Home. This is the Currents virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. This is our third installment of Sounds Like Home, and it has been so fun to visit with people in their homes and oftentimes in their home studios or rehearsal spaces and see what people are up to in this very unusual summer that we're all having. So right now, I am very excited to be connected with a new group that just released their debut album. They're called Turn, Turn, Turn. Please welcome Adam Levy, Barb Brinstead, and Savannah Smith. Hello.
Hey.
Thanks so much for doing this and for connecting with us in this way.
Thanks for having us.
So since this is kind of a Zoom conference format and there's three of you, I thought it would be fun to start with just having each of you introduce yourselves. And for people who are maybe just coming into your project, if you could just say a little bit about what you were doing prior to Turn, Turn, Turn forming as a way to get to know you.
Do you want to start, Savannah?
I'm Savannah Smith. I'm a singer-songwriter. I was in Minneapolis for a decade, and I'm back in Eau Claire, Wisconsin now. Before Turn, 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 I was working on a solo project. I just put out my album Leo in March of 2019.
And I'm Barb Brinstead, and I'm primarily known as a bass player around town, a side person. And I've been playing with these guys for a couple of years, and I'm sort of remembering what it's like to write songs. That's about it for me.
I'm Adam Levy. I'm a singer-songwriter and lead a bunch of different bands and projects, and started Turn, Turn, Turn a couple years ago.
Awesome. Well, I want to get to the music, and then we can talk a little bit more about how this group formed and your album that was just released and some of the things you've been doing. You've already gotten out to a few venues to play shows, so I definitely want to ask you about that experience right now too. But let's start with a couple of songs, and then we'll chat some more. What do you want to start with?
So this one's called Paper Cut.
Up with your friends. I hear them talking smack again, behind your back again. I own the fact that I misled you. Everything I did was false, no lies infect you. I never wanna be the thing that got insults you. I let you play in the garden. You were a martyr, a serial broken hearted. When I said I wasn't gonna do this, and you promised me you would let it happen again. I never wanna be the paper cutting salty moon. Time to bounce. On my way, where I'm going isn't clear today. I'm okay. All the baggage laid down, I'm afraid. Life is good. My head is weary, but I'm hoping to change. The truth will set you free or hang you high.
hiding innocence or counting crimes.
I never wanna be the victim got in salty wounds.
Time to bounce.
I never wanna be the victim got in salty wounds.
Time to bounce. Time to bounce. All right, this one's called Ghosted.
You left, you got out when you did. I wasn't so fortunate. You couldn't match my sentimentality. Compliments are never easy for you, giving or receiving. I've been ghosted. Said you'd keep me posted. Suspended and still roasted. Permanent waiting room gets hosted. I've been ghosted. Well, I'm a profligate spender when it comes to affection. And I should be in mind upon my own protection. Well, if I knew it was the last kiss, I would have worked a little harder. Now I got a joke on the back, I know my heart, girl. I've been ghosted. You said you'd keep me posted. Suspended and still roasted. Permanent waiting room, yes, hosted. I've been ghosted. Oh Lord, what have you done? You gave me more than anyone. Why can't you take away my thing too? I'm always good at the coming part, not so good at leaving. My heart's still pumping, but I'm barely breathing. You were a nice girl, but you had sharp edges. Gracefully bottom on the party goes a one-ear Lexus. I've been ghosted. You said you'd keep me posted. Suspended and still roasted. Permanent waiting room gets hosted. I've been ghosted. I've been ghosted.
Well, that was just gorgeous. If you're just tuning in, this is a virtual session with Turn, Turn, Turn as part of Sounds Like Home, the current celebration of Minnesota music. And Turn, Turn, Turn just released their debut album. It's called Can't Go Back. We just heard the song Ghosted. So I would love to hear a little bit more about how this project came to be.
I had wanted to do a little project, just like a covers project that was doing singer-songwriter music from the 60s and 70s, stuff that I really loved that influenced my own songwriting and that I knew with a couple female voices in three-part harmony would just be really entertaining for people. And so I asked Barb to join me, and my daughter Ava was on board for one show, and then decided that she had other things to do, which was fine because I called Savannah. She was excited to join us for this little cover project. And we did a few shows, and Barb started sort of asking us, like, why do you guys do an original? And I said, no, the whole point of this thing is no original. It's like all this just music we like. We don't have to do our own stuff. And Barb kind of shrugged her shoulders, and one night Savannah ended up playing one of her own, and it was received very well. And a little light went off in our heads, like, hey, what if we did make a record that was originals, that was sort of nodding, paying homage or whatever to the music that we loved. And I had a number of songs sitting around, and Barb and Savannah had stuff, and we made this record that we had no idea, when it would be released or anything, but as we were making it, it was super fun. It was some of the most fun I'd had making a record in a long time, and I've made a lot of records, so it was just, I knew we had something really special, and everybody we played it for was really excited about it. It's weird having a record out right now. There's not a lot of ways to promote it in terms of live performance, but here we are.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So you've already gotten out to a couple of venues. Obviously, everything is very different right now in terms of presenting live music. There's a lot of precautions that need to be taken, but can you talk about, so I think you have at least 2 experiences under your belt now, right? The Parkway and playing at Ice House?
Yep. Yeah, so, we all have issues with our health, or some of us do. Like, I have a daughter who's got an autoimmune disorder. Savannah's dealt with Lyme disease. So we're trying to be very cautious. But at the same time, as Adam said, we have an album to promote, and we're a new band. So we're trying to get some sort of a connection with our audience, and the best way to do that is by playing live. So one thing that we decided is that we'll play outside, or we'll play inside where there's nobody around, so there's no audience, and there's lots of social distancing and masks and stuff. So we're trying to be as safe as we can, while also letting people know who we are and selling our albums.
So what was it like to play an empty theater? That must have been kind of a surreal experience, knowing that people were watching in other places.
It was strange. I think when we all showed up, it was like a complete brain fart. I'm like, where do I plug in where? And it felt really rusty, the whole setup. But the experience at the Parkway was absolutely incredible. The staff and the crew was amazing. And I think along with us being able to promote our music, we were also able to reach a larger audience. I know a lot of us have fans and friends that are far away, and this was a really unique and high quality experience that people were able to tune into. And I think that was a blessing. I know we all miss playing for live audiences, but we were able to reach more people in different areas with the streaming. So it's an added bonus, but yeah, it was strange. Not having audience feedback, I think we all struggled with, but the staff, again, they were incredible and cheering us on from the back.
Yeah.
It's a great room to play in. I think I probably would have appreciated an applause track or something.
like a professional sports team.
Yeah, it was just like the room
the
was
white
just,
noise.
thank you very much, come on.
So anyway, here's the next one.
Yeah.
The other thing we're getting used to is that we're being recorded on video. So that's not something I'm used to doing, and I know I've had to do some really hard work about getting relaxed around that. Something I'm putting out today will be around for a while, and I usually just play the performances and then we're done, and it's a moment that is, if they want to see, and they come to the next show. But we don't have that anymore, so I know I really have to work hard with not being so anxious about being videotaped.
We always look at Barb, so.
Well, it's not, it's the voice and it's the mistakes, that's my fault.
It's easy to leave behind the live. The recorded one is a little more daunting.
Yeah.
It's true, and I would say as opposed to other times when I've put out records, you do a lot of shows and you just get better with, when you do it like a 2-week tour, or you release a record, you're rusty, and by the end of the tour, you're just like in super fighting weight mode. But with this, we just have these sort of stops and starts, and then we've got to listen back to these recordings and hear how out of tune your own voice is, or your guitar or whatever. So to me, it's been really good in terms of performance. Like it's put me under the microscope, and I'm a little more conscientious about my own performance when I'm doing it. And it feels like the band has been pretty tight when we played live for that reason.
Yeah, for sure. For
Wow.
me, I think for the Parkway show, I hired a vocal coach. Because it was just my voice, I think from the board, I'm not sure what it was, but I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, board tapes sound like a microphone is up your nose when you're recording. It's not a flattering live show at all. But it's also very
Humbling.
super humbling.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't even think about that aspect of it, that you're basically making like a live concert video every time you play now.
Yeah.
True.
And like Adam said, normally when you play a lot, you just get tighter. But again, with the whole COVID thing, even the rehearsals, we haven't had many rehearsals with the whole band. They've been in places that are well ventilated. They've been short. So it's not a typical rehearsal either. So they're just, the amount of time that you normally put into a project to get really good and sound good, we haven't had that. And yet we're out there putting our stuff out, and that's a bit daunting.
I would say though, with this band, I've gotten to know the two of them better than I have some of my bandmates that I played with for 20 years. Reason being that we text like high school girls.
Every day.
Constantly. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Here's photos of what I'm wearing. Like I never got to do that with my bandmates. So there's a sense of connection, even though we're not together all the time. It feels like we're together at another level.
That's really sweet. The turn group text is keeping you connected.
Sanity.
Yes.
I love that we're seeing some kitty cats tiptoeing in the background too. This is definitely, I love it. The festival sounds like home, but I also like that we get to see what people's homes look like and what's going on when you're rehearsing and playing together.
Well, one of my cats is sitting on Barb's lyrics right now. So Barb's going she got up. You know what I'm talking about. She got up and moved. But there's 3 cats in here, and they have definitely helped me. I'm empty nester now. I don't have my teenage daughters anymore here as much, although they have been coming over a bit lately. But my cats are my new children.
It's kind of with their album cover and the insert. It's like Where's Waldo? You can find cats scattered throughout.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I would love to hear another song from the new album. For those just tuning in, this is a virtual session with Turn, the new project from Adam Levy, Savannah Smith, and Barb Brinstead. The new record is called Can't Go Back. What do you want to play next?
Okay, this Can't Go Back. annihilation could be near. Oh, girl, we didn't waste, smile in past fall. Hidden these tracks and by our trees. We can't go back. We can't go back. We can't go back to the way we were before. Woo-hoo.
That was so lovely. That is Turn, Turn, Turn. That is the title track to the new album that just came out this summer. Adam, Barb, and Savannah, thank you so much for doing this and for performing for us today.
Thanks for having
Thanks for having
us.
us. Stay
This
healthy.
was awesome. Yeah, you too. Seriously, it's really lovely to be connected and check in a little bit with some familiar faces. So I just really appreciate it again. I hope you all take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here. All Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Sounds Like Home. This is the Currents virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. I'm Andrea Swensson, host of the local show. Columbo's hanging out in the background. Hopefully he'll wake up and see some of this performance because I am just so excited about this next artist that I am connecting with. Her name is Annie Humphrey. She just released her latest album, Eat What You Kill, over the winter, and I love it, and I can't wait to talk to her about it. Annie, hello.
Hi. Hi there.
Thanks so much for doing this and connecting with us virtually in this way.
Oh, I'm learning so much.
This is our new world now. So, where are you joining us from? Where are you right now?
I am at my home near Deer River, Minnesota, on the edge of the Leech Lake Reservation.
Great, and I see a piano in the background, and you're going to be playing both keyboard and guitar for us today.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to talk to you about your most recent album and your life as a songwriter and artist and so much more. But let's start with a little performance, and then we'll get into more of a conversation. What song do you want to start with?
I'm going to start with a song called Episode of Horrible. Do you want me to talk about it at all?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Well, this song actually was on my last record, but I've kind of been singing it a lot because it really fits in with what's happening today. And, just got to keep bringing them songs back.
Great.
And it's about the times we're living in, and it's about being coherent.
Can't get help from Jesus.
Thank you so much. That was so great. So you mentioned that's on a previous album. Where can we find that song?
That is from a record called The Beast and the Garden, and it's on my website, anniehumphrey.com, and it's at Bandcamp, as is Eat What You Kill.
All right.
There's your puppy. He's woke up.
Oh. You just never know if he's going to make it through a whole interview or not. Well, thank you so much for connecting. As I mentioned, I've just so resonated with your most recent album, Eat What You Kill. I've been listening to it a lot, and especially this year, it's just it's funny because you're actually the last person I saw perform live in a venue before everything shut down. So I just have this very intense connection to your voice and these songs and this music. So I really I appreciate that is my memory for now of the last concert that I was at. But can you tell me a little bit about, recording this most recent album and releasing it over the winter?
Well, I started writing it in the last few years have been really crazy. But me and my daughter were in a really bad car accident not this past November, but the one before it. And it was things like that put life on kind of like a time, everything stopped, and I went and lived in the hospital for like 6 weeks, and did some writing from there. And actually we were in the hospital, and I had a show, and I really needed the money, so I went and I actually had two. So I went to Minneapolis just days after the accident, and I met Jeremy Ilvesaker backstage at one of the places I played, and I remember him and David Huckfelt, Keith Sikola, we were all kind of standing backstage, and the guys were talking about their projects, and I'm just standing there, and so I chime in. I'm ready to make a record. I've been writing songs too. And this is funny because I'd heard Jeremy play before, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this guy is like just a crazy, amazing guitar player. And in my mind, I was like, how would I approach someone like that about possibly playing a couple of songs on my record? And he emailed me shortly after, and he just said, if you're doing a recording, I'd like to be part of the project. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But so working with him and the sound of the record, I did write the lyrics, but the sound of the record, the mood of the record, the color of the record, it all comes, Jeremy is the one that, sent it all through, in my opinion. And so that was really, and then the drummer on the record was Adrian Liberty, and he's a friend of mine I've known for years. He played on my first record back in 2000. And it was just, it's kind of, I didn't know Jeremy very well personally, but once we got in the studio, it was just all about getting the music right. When you work with younger guys, when I was younger, there's kind of a lot of ego involved in the whole process and everything, but it's really nice getting older.
Well, Jeremy obviously added to the album, but the reason that I love it is because of your songwriting and your voice and the stories that you're telling. And it's showcased very beautifully musically, but I just get so much out of listening to it. And I really appreciated that when I saw you live, that every song that you played had kind of a story to go with it. Like listening to you talk about the songs was part of the performance, in addition to the actual singing and playing of the songs. So tell me a little bit more about, to hear that it came out of such a dramatic moment and a moment of such pain and transformation for you. Tell me about, where your mind was at and what you wanted to say on this album.
Well, my mind is always at the future generations. My mind is always at my grandsons. My own kids are getting older and having kids. So, I talk about, I want people to call me activist, and for a long time I was that kind who gets people together and tries to bring awareness to things and marches alongside highways and stands at the Capitol, or that kind of thing, and that's really important to do. But as I after I got home and our lives settled back in and I saw my grandsons, I just thought, when I step out to do that kind of activism, I look behind me and there are all these other things I should be doing that would really, really affect the lives of people directly, meaning my family. So, and I think that's how it is for a lot of people who choose that way, who are called to that way, to take a stand and to be, on the front lines of something. They leave a lot behind them. And I just looked back and I saw too much behind me that I was just kind of leaping over to be part of this bigger picture, when really my picture, I can have an effect on my own picture. And so for me, that's where it's at right now. And that's pretty much where, even my writing now, when I'm writing like now, is more about the inside of me. It's not about the state of the world, but I think the insides of people can change the state of the world. So
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hear some more of your amazing music. What do you want to play next?
Well, I'm going to play a song called She Dances, and it's a really personal song, but it's also, I didn't really realize it until I heard it, is that, the way women are treated is directly connected, I think, the way that we treat the earth. So earth is feminine, earth is our mother, and if you can treat women in such a way, then why not the earth too? So that was kind of a discovery I made after I'd written the song. But it is about missing Indigenous women. It is about women who've been assaulted, anyone who's been sexually assaulted, and a lot of times how they won't tell anybody, right? Because they're just ashamed, and we can't see that. And I bet a lot of people we walk by are living with the shame of being sexually assaulted, when that's just not how that just shouldn't be. And so I wrote a song about a specific young woman that I know, and the song is about her.
She walked on sunlight.
If you're just joining us, this is a virtual session with Annie Humphrey. You can find that song Now She Dances on her most recent release, Eat What You Kill. This is part of Sounds Like Home, the Currents virtual festival showcasing Minnesota music. And that was just beautiful. I could listen to you just sing and play piano all day long. It's just so lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to ask you how you're doing now. I'm still just processing that you told me that you were able to write songs from the hospital. I'm wondering, now that everything has just gotten so intense in the world and we're kind of on pause in many ways, but also in such a moment of intense transformation. Are you writing now, and what are you writing about, if so?
Oh gosh, I'm writing about who I think God is. I'm writing about Alzheimer's, and I'm writing about a world that has in some ways turned very dark, and how can we can create our own light. How can we create a cycle, a brand new cycle, kind of like evaporation, clouds and rain, and that cycle, right? Can we create one like that, where we are the earth power and we can create light? Okay, I mean, that's kind of deep, right? Because I think, we can do it. We can really do it, and that's what I'm writing about. I think I am, like I said, being more self-reflective, and I'm looking more at what I think about and what my opinion, and to me, like, maybe it's not even an opinion. Maybe the helpers and the spirits are talking to me, and then I can just repeat it. It's just, everything is the way you look at it, and I'm thinking about decolonization and what that means to me. And to me, decolonizing is not taking back land, and it's not a literal thing to me. Decolonization to me is a state of mind, but it's also, remembering the skills that would enable us to gather food and resources from the earth in a respectful and sustainable way. And I never knew what the word decolonize meant until I was very old. And I realized that I didn't really know what it meant is because my parents had us living in such a way. My father had us living in such a way where we weren't trying to get a life back. We were just trying to hold on to the life that his mother, my grandma, her mother, and all of them, and it's still so alive in my family. I'm so fortunate. I don't have to go to like community ed classes on the res or something to try to learn a hands-on demonstration on how to tap a tree. I'm just so fortunate that, but community ed is a really good thing, but I just feel fortunate that it's just something that my parents provided me with, and I'm providing with my kids, and I'm providing with my grandsons, and so that's what I'm kind of writing about now, is really, really way more personal and closer to home. Because I think in the past I've written about things that can generally be, people can be like, oh, I relate to that, And so maybe these new thoughts are going to be like, ooh, I don't know if she should be saying that. I don't mind that. I think it's time. Yeah.
Do you feel like that gets easier as you get older to say things that might be perceived as controversial?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't really know that until I started getting older. And the way people treat me and talk to me. And one time I was at a feast, and when you're at a feast, the elders eat first. Well, we're at this community feast, and they say, okay, elders can go and get your plate. And I'm just standing there looking around, and someone goes, Annie. I'm like, what? And they said, go get your plate. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like one of the oldest ones here. So, I mean, that was the day of realization right there that, you know, you can't be a spring chicken forever.
Well, I love that. I can't wait to hear what you put out in the world next and what you're writing about next. I really appreciate, again, you doing this, connecting with me virtually and navigating all of this new technology that we all have to deal with now. Let's hear one more song before we sign off. What do you want to close with?
I think I will do a song. My grandson's actually in the other room, and one of his favorite songs is Give Us Life. And that song is about, that was kind of another theory of mine that I kind of put out there, that if we could give our children our Indian names. And so in our family we were given names at birth. I'm Annie Humphrey, but I also had another name. And then when you're adolescent and someone notices, traits and things, you get another name, and that's the name you carry all through the rest of your life. And my mom talked about how when we die 3 times, and the first death is when our body stops working, and our second death is when our bodies go back to the earth, and our third death is when people stop saying your name and stop telling stories about you. And I got this thought, what if we just keep recycling and giving our Indian names to the new ones coming, and then in 3 or 4 generations, because when we pray we use that name. So I thought we could keep giving our names away in the family, and 100 years from now someone will be saying a prayer and they'll say my name, and that way I will never ever die the 3rd time. So that's what the song is about.
I love it. That is Annie Humphrey performing another song off her most recent album, Eat What You Kill. Annie, thank you so much for connecting with us and performing as part of Sounds Like Home.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So you mentioned the album is on Bandcamp. Are there other ways that people can support you right now?
Just go ahead and there's no price on the record. You just make a donation.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your songs and your stories with us today. It was really lovely to see you, and I hope you start feeling better soon and take care.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here. All Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.
Hey everyone, Andrea Swensson here, host of The Local Show. Thanks so much for tuning in to Sounds Like Home. This is the Current's virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. This is our third installment, and it's been so fun peeking into people's homes, seeing what they're up to in this quarantining time. This is Columbo joining me for my next interview, and I'm so excited now to be connecting right now with Margaret, also known as Maggie Morrison, who's performed in many different projects here in town. Hey, Maggie, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. It's really nice to see you. I haven't seen you in person in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so where are you joining us from today? What is the space that we're looking into?
It's kind of my bunker in the basement. It's just a corner of my basement that I've tripped out with this reflective material in honor of Robin. So, that's where I am.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to talk to you a little bit more about developing this Margaret project that you've just released an EP from over the last year. But let's have a little performance first, and then we'll chat some more. So what can you tell us about the song that you're going to start with, Loved Ones?
So Loved Ones it's kind of an older song. I wrote it a few years ago, but it feels especially applicable right now. It's just about the complexities of how you think about yourself and how that affects the people that you love and how you should take care of each other. So.
All right. This is Margaret performing Loved Ones here on Sounds Like Home.
Everyone in the starlight is calling. You keep it there under your tongue before you speak. I hope you pay attention to your loved ones. They will bury you or carry you home. The perfect human don't know she's perfect. It's impossible to tell. lonely she is. You're trying to wake it up. You faked it and you saw. It's a sign of a perfect mind. I hope you pay attention to your loved ones. They will bury you or carry you home. Give it up or deny. The brave they can inspire. Only body does the same in the world. In this world. A series of unknown circumstances will build you up or take the time to fade. I hope you pay attention to your loved ones. They will bury you or carry you home. Give it up or deny. The brave they can inspire. Only body does the tiger in your eyes. My body's tense, I don't know how to feel. You cast your wave, 'cause there is no other way to honor it. And I was wrong to tell you so. And this is why I will let you know. We all need different ways to go. It makes a difference if you started out with something on it. We all need to get woke. So then you know that love, that's for real. A city's cold, a city's quiet. You look around to try something that you're grasping on it long. And I don't know this world is last. That calm is before the storm that makes it fast. We all find different ways to go. It makes no difference if you started out with something on
If you're just tuning in, this is Sounds Like Home, the Current's virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. And right now we're enjoying a performance and interview with Margaret. So Margaret is the new solo project from Maggie Morrison, who's been in lots of different projects over the years, including Digitada and Lookbook and Votel. Tell me about developing Margaret, your solo project that you're working on now.
I mean, it definitely was born out of kind of, just wanting to do something more on my own and wanting to facilitate doing more production work myself. And then because I tend to be a perfectionist and overthink things, I had to bring a few people in to help me. Alex Proctor engineered and helped produce one of the songs, Chris Bearden and Drew Christopherson from Polisa, and Aaron Baum all helped me kind of complete these 3 songs. But now I'm kind of definitely going more in the continuing in the solo direction and producing the tracks myself, especially now. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like this wanting to obviously like continue writing music and working on music, but be a little more independent.
Yeah. What was it like for you to go from being in a group to really leading your own project? I mean, the name says it all. I know.
Margaret. Yeah. I think it's, somewhat empowering, but I also like collaborating with people still. So I think it's been really good for me. It's forced me to learn a lot of things that I think I already knew, but I didn't quite put myself into that situation before, like recording and even bouncing out tracks and, things like that, more technical things. So it's pushed me in ways that have helped my songwriting and the production. So it's been really interesting and really fun.
Cool. So how have things been going for you this year? I mean, it's just such a surreal time for all of us, but for artists to not have the opportunity to be able to, go out and perform shows. What has this experience been like for you?
I'm probably suppressing some things that, as far as not performing, not going to shows, I think it's pretty rough. And I really, really miss it. I really miss like running into people, sorry, my dog's barking, but, and the performance aspect, I think it's one of those things I don't think about until I perform. And then I feel, that like adrenaline and that rush, that comes with that. And because I don't have that right now, I'm honestly like making, these videos, like doing this for you guys has been like kind of brought that back a little bit, that feeling of wanting to perform and wanting to emote, through music. So I'm grateful for that.
That's something that I've been thinking about a lot, that, it's one thing to get ready for a show, go to a venue, like have all that time backstage to get ready to step out onto the stage and then decompressing afterwards. And now people are going through all of those steps in the same physical location. And it just changes the whole dynamic of, what it means to perform in a way. But I'm glad that you've reconnected in some ways to be able to do that virtually.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely am, a little more inspired to keep pushing the boundaries of like, because that's the thing, we have to redefine what performing is now, like how we get people to be involved with it. I mean, it's really depressing, and I don't like to think about not being able to go to shows, but the new normal is forcing us to be more creative and really think about what it means to perform. And like I said, for me, even just like recording these songs live, and even though I'm watching myself on this little video, which is weird, but it's kind of fun, and it does kind of scratch that itch a little bit. So I want to think about more ways that we can bring performance to people's homes in a more live feeling.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've been asking a lot of people, just because we're in this moment of pause and there aren't a lot of live events happening indoors, especially, and venues are all closed down, is it gives us time to really reflect on maybe what we'd like to do differently or see done differently when things are returning to whatever our next version of normal is going to be after this.
Right.
Have you had any time to reflect on that, like maybe in the local music scene, what you would change or what you might change about yourself in the way that you operate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think I do think right now is the time where if we're not reflecting right now, then we're, not taking advantage of this, terrible circumstance that we're all in. I'm really excited for like aunties like Sophia Eris, her project with those that they're working on. And, for more inclusivity, more women being involved with the, just with the venues. Whoops. So yeah, I'm just, it's kind of a loaded question, to be honest. But yeah, I think that I just would like to see more of that in general.
Yeah, we could talk for a long time about that.
I know. I know. I'm trying to, be chill about it. So, yeah. And I guess for myself, I want to use this as motivation. I think that I like to work on a lot of different things. And I think, between my daily work and working on music, I haven't focused so much on my music career, if you will. And I think that I'm motivated because I miss it so much. Like, it's kind of like you have to like really miss something in order to, at least for me. And so, so I'm hoping to maybe build up some momentum for myself.
That's cool. Well, let's hear a little more music. You're going to play a third song called Nothing. What do you want to say about this one?
This is definitely my favorite song right now. I wrote this right before quarantine. And it's so funny, like thinking about songs before COVID and like take on different meanings now. And I think that's how I feel about this song. And it's actually kind of applicable to the times about just feeling disillusioned and not knowing what to do, and kind of wearing your heart on your sleeve, because that's all we can do.
I like that. Well, this is Margaret performing another song for us here on Sounds Like Home. It's Nothing. Enjoy.
I'm less impressed than I used to be. I find I don't need anything. Am I chill or just apathetic? I feel my mind is not my own. I express my thoughts to distract them all. It means nothing. More than you'll know, it means nothing. something inside. It's right here. Half of all it's too long to be losing sleep. All of my friends go round till they're underground. Half of all I see, and you make it look so damn easy. I'm less impressed than I used to be. I find I don't need to need anything. I feel my mind is not my own. I express my thoughts to distract them all. It's nothing. Just know it means nothing. Why the hell you do something to regret? Don't you dare say something. You make your mind up when you're dead. All the love that I let him go, keep it more than you know, and it means nothing.
That is Margaret performing Nothing for us here on Sounds Like Home, the Currents virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Maggie, thank you so much for joining us. How can people keep up with what you're working on right now?
Just keep listening to my songs on Bandcamp. It's just Margaret.bandcamp. I have an Instagram account that I barely post on that you can check out, Margaret_music. Otherwise, I just want to say, like, keep taking care of each other, and let's keep loving music together and listening to music together. And, just everyone, please take care.
Well, thanks so much for being here. It was really lovely to see you for a little bit, even in this virtual way.
Yeah, so great to see you, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here, all Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sounds Like Home. This is the Currents virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. This is our third installment of Sounds Like Home, and it has been so fun to check in with different artists throughout the state of Minnesota to find out how people are doing, to see what they're doing in their homes, where they're rehearsing, where they're live streaming from. That's Columbo getting comfy in the background. Right now, I am so excited to be connecting with an artist from Duluth. Gaelynn Lea is joining me. Hey, Gaelynn.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for doing this. It's great to see you, even though it's virtual. It's just so fun to be able to check in with people in this way. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, obviously, there's a lot to process right now and a lot of work to be done in our country. But personally, we have a little apartment in Duluth close to the lake. So I've been getting outside, trying to stay connected with friends. I've been doing a lot of performances from home, actually. I had 3 yesterday, for example. So I'm definitely busy. It feels weird to be this busy in your apartment, but that's what's going on.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. And we'll talk a little bit more in a little bit, but let's get a performance in to start things off. You're going to start with a new unreleased song. So tell me about this, Hunger Won't Leave.
Yes, it's called This Hunger Won't Leave, and it is, I wrote it about a month before the coronavirus pandemic really hit home, and to me, it's just about that idea of kind of battling with the same struggles, how everybody kind of has their own set of struggles that is kind of with them their whole life, and just the exhaustion you feel from that and not giving up. Just not giving up even though you are struggling with something. So that's what this song is about.
All right, I'll let you take it away. It's Gaelynn Lea.
Each brand new day it begins just the same, filled with hope for the future and dreams of the strange. But stumbling blocks seem to litter the way, and by nightfall I'm broken and swallowed again. I want to reach higher than familiar planes, but my habits are shackles, they drag me away. Isn't there more to this world than my pain? The horizon, it glitters, but it's too hard to say. Can't you travel on up your mountain? Can't you travel on up your mountain? Can't you travel on up your mountain? No, this lesson won't be. All I desire is spiritual ways to better the world and to alter my fate. But all I'm consuming my ego rejects, and I'm trapped in a maze, just retracing my steps. Can't you get it out of your system? Can't you get it out of your system? Can't you get it out of your system? No, this hunger won't. Everybody's coming at it tense. It's plain to see, has it always been so hard to be a human? Everybody's sitting on the fence, including me. Do we run away or turn to face our demons? Can't you just admit that it's over? Can't you just admit that it's over? Can't you just admit that it's over? No, this vision won't. The surface doesn't seem to make much sense, a clouded mess, but beneath it all I know there is some order. Sifting through my fears, my hate, my love, my emptiness, I will someday hit upon that boundless border. Won't you put your lips to this water? Won't you put your lips to this water? Won't you put your lips to this water and quench your thirst to be free? Won't you grab a hold of this hammer? Won't you grab a hold of this hammer? Won't you grab a hold of this hammer and build a new day with me?
That is a brand new unreleased song from Gaelynn Lea, This Hunger Won't Leave. And I am so excited to be joined by Gaelynn today on Sounds Like Home and checking in with her. So I know that you mentioned you've been so busy performing all of these virtual gigs. What is this experience like for you as an artist to be connecting with fans digitally?
You know, it was a big learning curve. I mean, my first live stream show looked ridiculous, basically, and I didn't have the technology and I didn't know what I was doing. And then gradually we're figuring it out, and my husband and I have been researching, and there's been some nice surprises. You know, at first you think, oh, I'm not, connecting in real life with people, but every week I'm doing my shows on YouTube, so the same people often tune in and they talk with each other in the chat, which I can see, and then they request songs, and it's actually like a more direct, intimate connection in some ways than you get at some other shows where the audience is pretty separate from you, and maybe you have banter on stage, but you're not connecting individually during the show. And so in a way, I think it's cool. And as a disabled person, I think even after coronavirus, I'm going to keep doing some live streaming shows, because some of my audience I know for sure is disabled and wouldn't necessarily be able to go out. And then the coolest part is that a lot of people from all over the world have been tuning in. So people in countries that I definitely haven't ever traveled to are coming to these shows every week. So we'll have like 8 or 10 or 12 countries represented some Sunday afternoons. And that's just kind of cool that we're all connecting in the same place at the same time, live and actually interacting with each other. I think the live virtual is the best part. I'm a perfectionist, so those pre-recorded things stress me out a lot. But I have been doing those too. But the thing I've been enjoying the most is the live performances every week.
I didn't even really think about that, I've been trying to think over like what can we take forward with us through this experience and apply to how we exist in the world after this. But being able to communicate with the artist and with other people at a concert in a way that isn't just like yelling over, someone who's ordering something at the bar, but actually
Yeah.
being able to have a conversation about the music, like it would be really interesting to figure out how we could incorporate something like that, like a real dialogue among people over the music that they're seeing. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
it's
great that you're
pretty
noticing that.
fun. Yeah, that's cool. They like 1 week I did a topic kind of about disability rights. It was on the 4th of July or the 5th of July, I guess. And I was like, I play a lot of these songs every week. Does anybody have any questions? Just kind of thinking, why not ask questions? And people had some really cool questions. And then they, about disability rights in the US and touring, and then also sharing their own experiences. So it really was like a legitimate, really cool, connective dialogue. And I was impressed that YouTube allows for that kind of thing. I don't know if Instagram would work as well. I'm not sure because every platform is so different, but it definitely
Right.
works on YouTube. So it's fun.
Wow, that's very cool. So this is a recurring event. People can tune in Sunday afternoons on your YouTube channel.
Yep. And then the cool thing is they're archived. So I have a playlist with I think there's 24 shows now. As we talked about, it seems like it hasn't been very long, but then you look back and you're like, wow, actually we've been here for a while doing this. So, so I just put them all up on a playlist and people can look at them later in the week if they want, or tune in live. And it's pretty fun. I mean, I don't know. That's something I think for disabled audiences and people in different cities, it's a pretty cool thing to be able to do live events in that way to connect people that wouldn't otherwise be connected.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get another song in, then we'll keep the conversation going. Is there anything you want to tell us about the next one, Bound by a Thread?
Yeah, Bound by a Thread I started writing it after I read a really interesting book on the idea of reincarnation and how, your life is sort of a chain of continuous lives and the people around you are often kind of woven in and out of that. And I don't know, there's no way to prove that it's real, but I think it's really fun to think about. And then the song kind of grew in meaning. I feel like, our country is going through a lot of upheaval and there's a lot of things we need to fix. And the idea that focusing on love as the center point and the end point too, of all the stuff we're doing. I think that's probably the only real way we're going to end up where we want to end up. And so as I sing it now, several years after, it means something different to me than it did when I wrote it. So it's kind of weird how songs can kind of change meaning throughout their lifetime or whatever. So yep, this is Bound by a Thread. Yeah.
All right.
Bound by a thread, going down through the ages. You could have stayed, but you came here instead to fill my life's empty pages.
That was Bound by a Thread. Gaelynn Lea performing for Sounds Like Home here on The Current. I'm Andrea Swensson. So fun chatting with Gaelynn today from Duluth. We're connecting virtually. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit more. You mentioned you've been so passionate and active around disability rights. And this is such a time of crisis for people's health and safety and security in that way. I'm wondering, what new issues have arisen during the coronavirus? What are some things that you're seeing in the disability rights community?
Yeah, well, I think coronavirus kind of opened, really exposed some of the inequalities that already existed for people with disabilities. Like income inequality and just struggling to get services. And it's even harder, obviously, if people are sick or unwilling to work, or with the coronavirus, getting the help you need to stay out of a nursing home is harder. And then the big issue that I've personally dealt with, and I know is a big deal for other people, is this idea of valuing disabled lives as equal to able-bodied people. For example, there's talk of treatment rationing if you run low on ventilators. And a lot of times people with disabilities, it's actually in hospital policies. It's been written in where they would be given last priority for things like ventilators, even though technically that's not legal. And luckily, the Office of Civil Rights has, written a brief on how that's not actually legal. But whether or not that gets followed, it just kind of belies this underlying lack of value that we are perceived to have. And the other thing is masks. Masks are really, really important to stop the spread. And for people with disabilities, it's not like a optional, if I get it, I'll be fine. A lot of people with disabilities absolutely won't be fine, including myself. And so seeing this argument about whether or not people want to wear a mask or wear one because it's uncomfortable or inconvenient is really sad, because it's a life or death situation for people with disabilities, and we're not treating it like that. So there's a lot going on right now that's difficult, but there's been some positives in, like I said, things going virtual. A lot of people with disabilities that have trouble getting transportation or don't have the stamina to necessarily go out to a live show or a museum are able to do it from their homes. And in some ways, I've heard that people are feeling more connected or included in society than they have been ever. And so I hope that those things don't go away. But yeah, it's a big mixed bag. There's a lot going on, and I don't know how much we're covering it in a way that feels manageable. Whenever I see reporting on disability issues and coronavirus, it's like a giant laundry list of all the crap that's wrong, which is good to point out. But there are really actionable things that everyday people can do, like wearing masks, that aren't really emphasized as much as I wish they were from the aspect of disability. There are some people that can't wear masks, and that's for medical reasons. So I'm not trying to say that every single person has to wear a mask or needs or should be able to wear a mask, but in reality, the vast majority of people doing it would save disabled lives, specifically, especially the ones in nursing homes or group homes. Those people are dying at higher rates than any other group, especially in the group homes. Any other group in America, they're dying the most, and we're not talking about it as a public health emergency, which, I mean, we kind of are, but you know what I mean? Not specifically centered around the value of those lives. And I think that is where we're missing the boat as a culture.
Yeah. Well, segue time. You are going to end with a song that you said was particularly inspired by your work around disability rights. What can you tell us about this last song that you're going to play?
Yeah, this song is called I Wait, and it's a song that I wrote a few years back when we were having these big healthcare debates. Remember when John McCain walked out and put his thumb down and saved Medicaid, basically? So that discussion around healthcare was a really frustrating time for me and others in the disability community, feeling like when they would list off all these people that would be affected by healthcare changes, a lot of times they wouldn't mention disability at all, or it would be a tiny side note, and they weren't interviewing like activists, and we were being like left out of that discussion until a bunch of really awesome advocates got like arrested in their senators' offices and stuff, and then the world kind of started paying attention to that issue. But the song is kind of about this sentiment of, legally we have our rights. Like, it's recognized in the Americans with Disabilities Act, which turned 30 yesterday. But if you don't enforce that act, we don't actually have those rights. And so it's a frustrating place to be fighting for change, and the change just not really being realized, even though it should be. And so that's what this song is about, is how do you deal with that frustration without giving up hope or stopping the fight, basically. So
Right.
it's called I Wait. Oh, yeah, sorry, you can go first.
That's what I was going to say. It's called I Wait. So here's Gaelynn Lea.
Can you see me way in the back here? I've been waiting in line. It's been a long time, can't get no service. Still I am hoping for a sign that one day things will change and we can finally take our place. That history won't forget us or try to minimize our pain, and so I wait. And so I wait. Did you know that when I get angry, I breathe fire? I could burn this place down. You may not realize all of the small ways I am not welcome, but just take a look around. Still everybody knows that you need a place to go, and living isn't easy if you incinerate your home, and so I stay. And so I stay. I may seem angry, so please forgive me, but I am still not free in this society. How long must we keep fighting for our right to be living? Wrongs overdue for righting. We're a bit too forgiving. So if you hear them make claims of progress, take a good look and see who isn't there. We need a seat now at the table, so please invite us, or don't pretend to care.
That is I Wait, Gaelynn Lea performing on Sounds Like Home here on The Current, our live virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. And it was such a joy to be able to showcase a Duluth artist today. And I always love talking to you, Gaelynn. So thank you so much for being here and for performing for us.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you, and I hope you take good care. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here, all Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to Sounds Like Home. This is The Current's virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. I'm Andrea Swensson, host of the local show, and I am so excited now to be connected to Longshot. And Longshot is actually coming to us on location at Mortimer's. You're in a real music venue.
We are in a real music venue. You hear how hollow it sounds, though? It's like sound check all over forever.
So what's it like to be inside a bar with music? I've missed it so much.
Well, it's actually the fact that I'm in a bar with music that I'm about to perform is the special part about it. And so I'm just excited to be able to do that, and getting ready for this set was really just kind of refreshing, just because I hadn't done it in a long time. Taylor and I, who's going to be performing with me tonight, we just did a little run through and it's like, I feel like I just ran 13 miles. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
So you have been on fire this year. You just released your second album of the year so far, Champion, and I love it. It's so upbeat. It's so uplifting to listen to. Tell me about the process of putting that album together. When did you write it? When did you record it?
Thank you for the very kind words, first of all. Second of all, let me say, please, please, please do all the work that you're doing to keep pressing the Louisville government, state government to arrest the murderous officers that killed Breonna Taylor, and keep fighting whatever you're doing to do your part in bringing about social justice and human rights. Keep working, keep fighting. Thank you. But I started that album in 2016, actually. And the very first song that I wrote off of that was Unconditional, because I was in a place where my grandmother, before she passed in 2018, and she had Alzheimer's. And that was kind of like the beginning of it. And I was just going through a lot with that and dealing with that, and I'd never dealt with anything like that. And then personal things with close friends and family, feeling like I'm just losing everybody. So that was the first record that I wrote for the project. And then it just kept going from there. And the producer, TGIK, he's like my musical soulmate. I just love that man so much. And we have great chemistry. So our first offering that we did together actually was 2015 EP, FTP. And then we followed that up in 2016 with Struggle Music, our first full length. And then this is kind of like the answer to Struggle Music, because Struggle Music was about how we respond to our struggle as everyday people, right? Everybody struggles. And it's not about the struggle, but it's about how you respond to that struggle that makes you the person that you are. Who do you become when you respond to that struggle in a positive and constructive way? You become a champion. And so that's what this record is. It's just a follow up conceptually to that record. And so, and obviously, as we kept building songs, and then I think the last record that I wrote was Need Someone. And if you listen to Need Someone, it's all about mental health and just being there for our brothers and our sisters. So. And then you go to the first song on the whole album, Feels Good. That's what the whole project is supposed to be. That's what I wanted it to be about. And that's why I even sequenced it the way I sequenced it, is because I wanted off the bat, when you put that record on, you just to move your body and just feel good and then keep going down that rabbit hole, and then you're going to feel a bunch of different emotions. But by the time you get to the end, which is Midwest, we're back to that feeling good and wanting to move our body. So that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, I really appreciate that reminder to get into your body. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because we're doing a lot of this, connecting online.
Yes.
Staying in our heads, trying to think through all these major issues that we're being confronted with, in our community, and to reconnect with the body and to actually just move around a little bit is so grounding and
key.
So healing. And I really appreciate that part of it a lot, especially right now.
Thank you.
So tell us about the performance that you're about to do. What can we expect coming up?
So I'm going to start out with I'm Saying. Obviously, it's an important record. It's it probably is my most important song that I've ever wrote. And so, again, for me, performing live is so important. And it's just one of the ways that I connect with my listeners and my fans and my supporters and my family. It's because you get to listen to the music, but then you get to come to the venue and actually feel that passion and feel every syllable and every word. So I've been itching to do that song. So I'm going to start out with that, and then we'll get into Champion with Feels Good. And we'll end with Need Someone, just because I feel like that's a very important record and just kind of what we need right now in terms of just the message of let's ask for help when we need help. Let's do that inner work, right? Let's challenge each other, challenge ourselves with love and leading with love. And so I'm excited. We're gonna have fun. I got special guest Taylor Ray, who's on 3 of the songs on Champion. She's on Feels Good. She's on Bruce, and she's on Love Me. So super, super excited. And we're at Mort's, my favorite.
Can you tell us, what the significance of Mortimer's is for you, why you wanted to perform there?
Yeah. So Mort's is part of a collective of restaurants that a family kind of co-owns with some partners. And so it's Mortimer's, it's Nightingale, it's Tilt, and it's Dusty's in Northeast. Okay. And so I made a connection with one of the owners. His name is Jasha Johnson. When I first moved here in 2009, I walked in to Mortimer's with a Evanston baseball sweatshirt on. He's like, "Oh, really? I grew up in Evanston." And then we just connected from there. And so I ended up helping him coach baseball, volunteer coach baseball and basketball with him. And so since COVID hit, I've been actually personally training his 14-year-old son, getting him ready for his high school basketball season. So this is family for me. It's my favorite venue in the city. I love the staff here. The food is great. And yeah, it's just, I wanted to do something different. I've peeped a few of the Sounds Like Home performances. And so I just wanted to switch it up, get out the bedroom, and let's do it in a real venue.
I appreciate that so much. I'm going to live vicariously through you and just pretend that I'm there and not in the same office I've been in for 4.5 months.
Right. Sweet. I got you.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for bringing us into a venue at this time when so many of us miss that so much. And I'll let you take it away. This is Longshot performing on Sounds Like Home.
Thank you for having me.
Another one? It's me? Damn, another black dead. For no other reason, I was just a black man passing through this white land. On my way to God, ain't no holding back then. Damn, another black gone. For no other reason, I was on my way home. Sad, such an old familiar song that my parents finna sing as they bury me alone. Wrong, I never did nothing to them, but they try to double kill me, twisting things that I was doing just to justify murder, assassinate my soul. 74 days, world, what took you so long? Damn, here we go again. I heard they killed somebody else, this time assisted it in. And this is public lynching, no matter how you view it, and you view it every day. So tell me what you're doing, they say freedom ain't free. Well, how about you lower the price and please stop killing these black kids tonight? I'm saying, yeah, that's all I'm saying. They say freedom ain't free, well how about you lower the price and please stop killing these black kids tonight? I'm saying, yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, damn, another black dead for no other reason than I had black skin. Passing through this white world, sending prayers up to God, hope we get it right, world. Damn, another black gone for no other reason. She was already home, sleeping in the bed, never heard them make shots. Boyfriend trying to protect her, not knowing it's the cops. Tell me, why Brianna have to die if she did nothing wrong? You already had the guy that you were looking for, just took the law on your own. Bloody pig hands and left her family to mourn. It's gonna happen again, probably already has. There's no respect for our men, women, or our children, but we gotta keep building. If you're a white ally, then tell me what you doing. They say freedom ain't free, well how about you lower the price and please stop killing these black kids tonight? I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. They say freedom ain't free, well how about you lower the price and please stop killing these black kids tonight? I'm saying, see, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, please arrest the murderous police officers that killed Breonna Taylor. Please keep fighting, keep protesting, keep doing your part to bring about human rights and social justice in this country. Because not knowing where your life is headed, that's scary. Barely lit, I won't pass the blunt. I'll take a hit. And I think about this planet's problems, COVID, suicide. I'm feeling like the world against us. You know, the United States. I'm feeling like the world against us. Go ahead, choose a side. Cause see, you could die riding a train or drinking water. Color warnings changing every day. We just keep up the war, and foreign foes never wanted our help. So terrorists felt. When we act in terms of personal gain, the pain is dealt. Like kidnapping journalists and killing for justice. That's Iraq. Dying for freedom in America is every poor and black. Very sweet, very steep. I'm deeply rooted in the struggle, but addicted to rhyming, I'm using lines to break the muzzle. The puzzle pieces fit. Read the script. Weak 3/5 in your eyes? You can't disguise the hate you wear on your lips. So we'll push Trump out of office with coffins on his resume. I hope for his next job, he's neck bobbing, getting hella sprayed. Better days are sure to come like penis shacking. If we pick each other up off the ground, let's make it happen. Happy's just a word to the desperate and broke. I said, welcome to my addiction. Yeah, let's go. I'd like to bring to the stage right now the beautiful, talented Taylor Ray. We gonna get into this champion album. Feels good. Hey, DJ turn me up. DJ turn me out. DJ had me on the floor, taking down my shot. DJ had me going all night playing my jam. to let your body judge. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go of a crazy mess. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go of a pit of stress. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Hey, let it, everybody, release the stress. Get out your seat, get down, make it hot on the floor. I wanna see you move your body like never before. I wanna see you shake it, sing like no one's around. Like it's your birthday. Get it poppin', yeah, the body won't hear. Got a whole lot of bottles with some records to spare. Got the zig zones that, yeah, you half in the bag. Leave your problems at the door when you party with Chad. It feels good.
Feels good to make your body move.
Feels good, feels good
to make your body move.
Feels good,
to make your body move.
feels good to make your body move. Hey, 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 yeah, I came here all alone. Yeah, I came here to get in my zone. Hey, I don't need you to walk me home. Hey, I just need you to watch me get down, get down, get. If you at home, get down, get. Hey, get on, get down, get up out your seat, get. You don't know, hey, get down, make it hot on the floor. I wanna see you move your body like never before. I wanna see you shake it, sing like it's your birthday. Get it poppin' like the party won't end. Got a whole lot of bottles from the records of spear. Got a zig zone. Leave your problems at the door when you party with Chad. It feels good.
Feels good to make your body move. Feels good to make your body move.
Feels good.
Feels good to make your body move. Feels good to make your body move.
Yeah, I came here to get in my zone. Yeah, I came here all alone. I don't need you to walk me home. I just need you to watch me. Just trying to have fun with it, right? Give it up for Taylor Ray, y'all. We're gonna stick with Champion. The song is called Need Someone, and originally it features Cassandra Cole, but we got the beautiful, lovely Taylor right here, the sister, y'all. Check it out. Yeah. This is what we need in these times, just a little bit of love. I swear we all gonna be just fine. If we find the peace inside ourselves, we wanna see in others. Brothers help the sisters out, fathers love and honor mothers. What is gained from spewing hate, a putrid fade in the dirt. So much evil being spread, it's like we got them all hurt. Outraged over the wrongs, Kaepernick and Neil, and you up in arms, but police kill a brother and it's still just the death, F the left, F the right, let's unite. They say freedom ain't free, well how about you lower the price? Throwing rice, cause I'm married to the struggle till I'm gone. But before then, I'm trying to reach you all through every song. So no matter what we go through, always know I'm here for you. I'm just a phone call away, and if you ask me, I'll stay. No matter what we go through, always know I'm here for you. I'm just a phone call away. Need an ear, I'm here to listen to you, friend. Never judging, never budging, stick around until the end. Yeah, I know it hurts, it's the worst, but nobody cares. And it's you against the world, it's like nobody's there. Born alone, die alone, but we shouldn't live the same. Hiding pain inside behind a smile, quiet in the brain. Feeling strange, but that's normal, babe. Love is on the way, cause you give it how you want it. Flaunt it fiercely every day. Yeah, we all need somebody opposite of phony friends. Keep it 100 with me. Cause the truth is don't pretend when you ain't feeling good. Live and work it out, and can't nobody tell you how to heal. Let it out, go and shout, scream. Whatever you gotta do to feel better for you, do it. Cause it's you who I cherish the most. And even when I'm gone, trust that I'll be here for you, Joe. So, no matter what we go through, always know I'm here for you. I'm just a phone call away. If you ask me, I'll stay.
To simply adore.
to everybody I love and to everybody that loves me, I promise I won't kill myself. I promise to you all that I won't kill myself. I promise. This is to everybody I love and to everybody that loves me. I promise I won't kill myself. I promise when it hurts, man, I will ask for help. I promise I won't ask for help. I promise I won't kill myself. I promise to you all I will not kill myself. I promise I won't kill myself. I promise to you all that I will ask for help. I promise I won't kill myself. I promise to you all that I won't kill myself. Thank you. Give it up for Taylor Ray, y'all. Give it up for Mort, y'all. Give it up for the current. Give it up for yourselves. Please keep fighting the fight. Please keep fighting the fight. Arrest the murderous cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Please keep calling. Please keep emailing your local government. Please keep fighting. Keep protesting. Keep setting it up. Keep taking those bullets, man. Keep taking the gas to the eyes. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Make your art, right? Get in good trouble. Rest in peace, Sean Lewis. Rest in peace. Everybody that's lost their hands to the police, that lost their hands to senseless violence, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing the fight. Keep living you. Keep shining. Thank you all.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here. All Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.
Hey, everybody. Andrea Swensson here, host of The Local Show. Thanks so much for tuning into Sounds Like Home. This is our third installment of our local showcase, virtual showcase, of course, as we visit with musicians in their homes, oftentimes in their home studios, and hear what they're working on. And I am so excited right now to be connected with Maria Isa. Maria just released a new album, Amor Universal, with Yimi. Hello, Maria.
Hey, how's it going?
It's
How-
going all right. How are you?
One day at a time. One day at a time. We're here. We've got the music. A lot of communication with different folks is keeping it balanced.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to get caught up with you, but we're going to start with a performance of a couple of tunes and then we'll chat a little more. What do you want to start with?
I'm gonna start off with something of my last album. The new project's an EP, but we'll start with some oldies and get into the new stuff later on. But this is the only one off of my project, Sasa.
Awesome.
They focus on the small picture. My world ain't got no time. Most of y'all wasted all minds worshiping these fake shrines. My chi are the wings of the butterfly. Stay balanced. Eyes, hips, hands make transactions. He lost off the Adderall, won't shut up. We had a ball like Cinderella, Spinderella. I added some sal pimienta, build with these blocks Jenga. Chavez Boulevard, tacos de lengua. I told the gringo walk tender log off my megla. I can smell peyote, Mexican coyotes. Wagon who owes me champagne hyenas. Our pen in the beamer, sip the hen, six Selena, Heineken, at Cantina, jukebox. Lisa, Isa got a coat. I'm a mango chupa chupa, chupa chupa all the coke. Cause I ain't going home with just anyone. I can do a song with just anyone. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I am not a clone, I'm the only one. You see me on the cover, I'm the pretty one. Call me on the phone, I'm the busy one. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I'm a unicorn, I'm not just anyone. No. Anyone, no. Cause I be down south like Trina, tropical clima, págame for this rima, lo tu Carolina, Times Square máquina, all the Milltown primas, merengando con Amando, dancing la máquina, Boricua parade, Swift and Filet, Garcia Vega, Cohibas all day, dance kid and play, linen PJs, el tambo mi bomba con grande, no gossip, no combo, no he say, she say, damun de pojo, no time for the hate, vete pa' allá, habla por semana y vete pa' allá. Cause I ain't going home with just anyone. I can do a song with just anyone. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I am not a clone, I'm the only one. You see me on the cover, I'm the pretty one. Call me on the phone, I'm the busy one. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I'm a unicorn, I'm not just anyone. No. Anyone, no. I ain't going home with just anyone. I can share a song with just anyone. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I'm not a clone, I'm the only one. You see me on the cover, I'm the pretty one. Call me on the phone, I'm the busy one. I don't share a throne with just anyone. I'm a unicorn, I'm not just anyone.
That was so cute.
We're just like, are you live?
There's something amazing about you rapping about being the busy one while handing off a little baby.
And I think I have my dog now try to come in here too. He's like, what?
Oh, that was
I can
so
see
great.
your dog in the background.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
a cat or dog. Yep.
It's a dog. There's a cat. There's a baby. You know, who knows what could happen in the next 15 minutes. Well, you mentioned, so we started with a track that you released a few years back, and I believe next you're going to perform something from the new project.
Yes, this new project is it's called Amor Universal, and we created a collaboration between the producer Yimmy, who I've been working with for a few years on more of a licensing tip, and amongst this pandemic, we decided, hey, we're both parents, we're used to being in a studio together, trying to cook up some new material for work wise on the marketing level, and we're like, let's do something for us. I mean, let's do something that can be good for the kids. They need that. He has a 5 and a 6-year-old, wondering when are they going to go back to school, be able to play with their kids, and it's just been very, very troubling as parents. I mean, we have babies, so they don't know what's going on, which is a positive thing. That I feel they won't recall what a normal day at school was, because this is like the new norm. So it's not as shocking. But to keep his children and just plenty of the students that I work with the Mobile Jazz Project focused on positivity and finding some sort of light to be creative. So it's like, how do I continue to mentor? I don't want to necessarily write about, not that saying writing about negativity isn't healing, because that's what we do too, but trying to give them some medicine of hope and love. And out came Amor Universal. Yimmy was like, I want to do something that's just like fully like Spanish too. And I'm like, well, go do it, Yimmy. And he doesn't speak Spanish, but he speaks it. He speaks the language through the music. So we cooked up Amor Universal, and we've been having fun. We put a animated video out for the kids, like what would TPT play? What would be on PBS Kids? And so to say that my daughter loves it way too much, well, it's a good thing. But I'm kind of like, okay, let's close that up. And she's kind of in shock, like, Mom has a cartoon.
Oh,
which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, with all of the things that you do, you know, you're an artist, you're an activist, you're an educator, you are just so involved in the community. I feel like I almost forgot that you're also the CEO of a record label. I mean, what is it like to run a record label right now and to be putting up music right now?
Man, I mean, you know, independent, like that CEO, it's always been just me with a collective of team that you contract independently on this end. I'm not $1 million state ran business. I'm, you know, just one person trying to make my music distributed to the world. And I think the benefit of technology is that I can be that CEO to do that. What it's like is learning different avenues. We can't perform in venues, so we're losing money as artists, right? We're losing the ways to be able to continue to fund our music, but we're able to utilize time right now to create content, and maybe even giving us more time to create than we've ever had, because we are in our spaces. And it's also a little bit challenging because obviously we have family, everybody's in the house, and we don't have that ability to be in a studio office space. But how's it like? It's been challenging, but it's also been kind of saying like, man, I can still do this. It's been 11 years since Soda Rico's been in existence, and now it's just a new wave of saying, hey, you've seen what I put out. This is how many projects I've had. They're under my label. I've got amazing musicians that I contract and a great supportive community. So that's what it is. I wish that, you know, people who ran our government acted more like the artists that are independent label owners. I feel like they could do so much more in unifying the world. So, but that's what it's been. It's been challenging, and also just kind of also relieving to be like, well, we've been doing this. It's always been a struggle, but let's gain some momentum while everybody's sitting at home and seeing what are you guys going to put out next.
Right. Right on. Well, let's hear some of this new music. I'm super excited about this album. It just to listen to it in the summer, driving around in the car. It really hits right now.
Yes.
So why don't you do a couple songs back to back? What do you want to do?
What I can do is do Voy Contigo, and I can give you something from the Salsa Project too. That's produced
That
by
sounds
Jay Hard.
great.
And so much love to Jay Hard, who's a new papa, had a baby with his partner in this pandemic. Love to Errol J. Hardy.
Le 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 le, le 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 le, le 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 le, le 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 le, rumba para bailar, rumba para gozar, rumba para bailar, rumba para gozar. Me enamoré la primera vez que te conocí, amorcito, cómo me haces sentir. Que en esta vida se tiene que vivir feliz. Y eso sin ti no hay. No, eso sin ti no hay. Que yo me voy contigo. Porque nada más importa cuando estoy contigo. No, calentamos la noche, candela, me voy contigo. Desde el mundo hasta la luna entera contigo. Me voy contigo, sí, contigo, sí. Voy contigo para Cuba. Voy contigo para Santo Domingo. Voy contigo para Panamá. Voy contigo para México lindo. Voy contigo para Honduras. Voy contigo para Guatemala. Voy contigo para Argentina. Voy contigo para Costa Rica. Voy contigo para Venezuela. Voy contigo para El Salvador. Voy contigo para Colombia, Chile, Perú, Ecuador. Voy contigo para Paraguay. Voy contigo para Colombia, Uruguay, mi borinquen, Puerto Rico, el mundo entero. Yo me voy, yo me voy, yo me voy. Cuando estoy contigo, no calentamos la noche, candela, me voy contigo. Desde la luna y en el mundo entera contigo. Me voy contigo, sí, contigo, sí, contigo. Sounds like home. Isn't this why we're here? Yeah. Is this? Isn't this why we're here? Minnesota. I got nothing to your eyes and through the key, yeah. Locked into your eyes and through the key, yeah. Locked into your eyes and through the key. Locked into your eyes and through the key, yeah. Locked into, yeah. Locked into. If you at home, I want y'all to grab your claves or hit some wooden spoons together and just go like, blah, 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 blah. Get the blood flowing, cause it's suave. Shots of agave, clave. Told him bring it my way, dale. Said he was a cat like a dentist. Speed like Keanu when I say dente. Bombidi, pineapple pancake. Papi, ven aquí, come ese panque. Tan dulce, it tastes so sweet. Hit me out lock from NY to Miami. Off that sosa. Live la vida loca, sipping on that brandy. Sitting on top of the world, meeting some girls, so bring all your locos. We can get caught up just un poco, yeah, a little bit. Give you little trip. Papi give you nice skinny dip. Hey, papi give you nice private. Whoa, hey, todos los machos por ahí y todas las nenas por allá. Sigue con la vida buena, toda la noche pa' gozar, yeah, pa' gozar. All the ladies over there, all the fellas over here, have that ball, get on now, we can have a good time. Bogotá, San Juan, San José, Panamá, Boca Chica, Lima, Habana, Buenos Aires, Michoacán, tranquila, Afro-Latinx, tranquila, Afro-Latinx. Keep it tranquilo, think we should leave though. No me llore lágrima, no te cocodrilo. Got some footage for your B-roll, got some footage for your B-roll. Like how I keep it on the D-low, then we speed it up, speed rápido. Give you something never believe, yo. Let's go ahead and achieve these goals. And let me open legs and give you more bongo. Dale mondongo, dame plátano. I sing Brenda Hopkins on the piano. Dance around the stars like Chado. I'll give you a shot, Chicago. Humble Park taught me on division. Santero still heal me with the kitchen. Got Louisa flavor in the kitchen. Rosie do the right thing. Prince Mike, they kissing. Locked it to your eyes and threw away the key. Yeah, 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 yeah. Locked it to your eyes and threw away the key. Yeah, yeah. Current, yo, I got locked into your eyes. Esos ojos que me mira, me así. Locked into your eyes and threw away the key. Yeah. Latinx, black and brown sounds. Sota Rico, sounds like home. Keep the peace, y'all. Keep the love. Ache, bendiciones. And to all the love, keep the love. Looked into your eyes and threw away the key.
Yes. I am so glad you did that one. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yes. You'd have to switch a lyric up in there because we're not cool with the Goya no more. So we're creating our own products now, and be on the lookout for that.
So for those not familiar, Sasa came out about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, 2 years ago. It was the release party was actually the day that Muja, my husband, and I announced publicly that we were going to be having a baby. Yeah, so she's one now. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this despite all that is going on in your world. And while I have you, I just want to say thank you not only for doing this and for your music, but for everything you've been doing to honor the memory of George Floyd and to work in the community. I see you every day and I just value you so much. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be on your platform and allowing us to connect through the beauty of music.
Yes. Well, Amor Universal is out now, so check it out. And thank you once again, Maria Isa, for joining us for Sounds Like Home. This was awesome.
Thanks for tuning in to Sounds Like Home, a virtual festival celebrating Minnesota music. Support for Sounds Like Home and the artists performing during the festival is made possible by Minnesota's Legacy Amendment and sponsored by Dual Citizen Brewing Company. Because great music lives here, all Sounds Like Home sessions will be archived at thecurrent.org.